Look down at the floor beneath your desk or behind the walls of your quiet home. You will find them hiding everywhere. Tangled, dusty serpents made of rubber and copper, quietly choking the true potential of our civilization. For over a century, your ancestors were completely tethered to these physical veins. They lived in constant low-level anxiety, searching desperately for wall outlets like thirsty travelers searching for an oasis in a vast, cold, and unforgiving digital desert. Imagine a beautiful world where power is as free and omnipresent as the very air you breathe. A world where the frustrating concept of charging a device has been completely erased from human memory. The invisible era has finally arrived. Chapter 1. The Copper Chains. Listen closely to the arid scrap of a carbon fiber shovel hitting a forgotten heap of plastic. Beneath the white sand lies a tangled, decaying mess of USB cables and heavy, obsolete power bricks. These forgotten artifacts from the year 2025 were the literal chains of a primitive society. They were fragile, highly inefficient, and required a physical connection to exist. To us, they were life. To the people of 2050, they are fossils. Welcome back to Beyond 2050, the unique channel where we don't just dream about tomorrow, we build it from the hard, undeniable facts of today. I am your visionary guide through the invisible architecture of our majestic future. Today, we journey into the most profound and quiet liberation in human history, the death of the cable, the glorious rise of ghost energy. A world where power flows through the atmosphere like a silent, golden spirit, fueling everything. Before we dive into the beautiful physics of tomorrow, look at the empty space around you. Imagine it glowing with infinite potential energy, waiting for your intent. The journey into the wireless world starts now. Let us go back. Chapter 2. The Fall of the Wired Empire. By the early 2020s, humanity was literally drowning in a sea of electronic waste. Billions of charging cables were produced every single year, only to rapidly degrade, snap, and end up in massive landfills. We were culturally obsessed with battery life percentages. We carried heavy, dangerous lithium power banks in our pockets and planned our global travels around the strict availability of electricity. Our ultimate freedom was limited by the length of a cord. The physical wire was a massive, unforgiving point of failure. It limited the architectural design of our cities and the elegant mobility of our machines. We built huge walls around plugs and designed our entire lives around static outlets. Every single time you plugged in your phone, you were brutally reminded of your dependence. You were a prisoner to the grid, forced to wait for hours just to gain the right to move freely again. Friction was everywhere. Innovation in chemical energy storage had reached a frustrating plateau. Batteries were heavy, environmentally destructive, and notoriously slow to fill. We didn't just need slightly better batteries, we desperately needed a world where batteries were absolutely irrelevant. We wanted our technology to stop demanding our physical connection and start serving our dynamic movement. We wanted raw energy to be as fluid, invisible, and effortless as the Wi-Fi signals that seamlessly carried all of our digital data. We wanted to walk confidently through the world and have our devices stay alive forever. No more low battery warnings, no more flashing red icons. The demand for a wireless existence began as a revolutionary, impossible dream in quantum physics. By the year 2032, the first
true cracks in the mighty wired empire began to quietly appear. Mid-range wireless power transfer became a fascinating reality in high-end corporate offices and luxury smart homes. The era of ambient energy began. Visionary scientists began to look for a radical way to turn the atmosphere itself into a massive conductor, a way to seamlessly transmit terawatts of power across miles without losing a single precious watt to the empty air between. The breakthrough didn't come from inventing a better copper wire. It came from a brilliant convergence of microwave beamforming, high-altitude satellites, and the ultimate realization of Nikola Tesla's long-lost, magnificent dream of a truly global wireless power system. Imagine the world around you as a pulsing, infinite field of energy. In the old days, you had to painstakingly capture it in a chemical bottle. In the new world, the field surrounds you. It knows your needs. It was a monumental shift from static storage to dynamic flow. The physical battery was about to become a mere backup mechanism, meticulously managed by a global AI that never sleeps and ensures energy is always present. The era of the restrictive cord was finally ready to end, and what lay on the other side of that threshold would redefine the very concept of infrastructure and mobility. Let us look deeply at the code of light. We stood bravely on the threshold of a world without plugs, completely ready to step into a reality where everything is perpetually alive. The physical wire was dying, and our magnificent ghost energy was slowly being born.
Chapter 3. Harvesting the Void. In 2050, the air around you is heavily saturated with localized, invisible energy packets. Using highly advanced microwave beamforming, satellites in low Earth orbit precisely transmit focused beams of pure energy to ground-based rectennas. These invisible beams are perfectly safe for biological life, passing through the atmosphere with almost zero energy loss. They are intelligently redirected by biophilic city towers, creating a dense mesh network of power covering every square inch. Suddenly, the entire city is a continuous charging pad. You don't actively charge your BCI or your smart lenses. They passively draw microscopic amounts of energy from the air as you walk, staying at 100% forever. But microwave beams from space are only the first macroscopic layer. The next profound leap was ambient RF harvesting. Every stray radio wave and data signal bouncing through the air is now converted back into usable electricity. This is energy collection at the molecular level. It is completely invisible and entirely effortless. The interface between you and the energy you consume is a thin biological fabric in your clothing that acts as a kinetic collector. By 2038, engineers brilliantly added the ultimate renewable source: human kinetic power. The way you move your limbs and the radiant heat your body generates are now efficiently captured by your neural lace and fed back into the grid. As you walk through a beautiful city park, you are no longer just a consumer of power. You are a biological generator. Your footsteps and your heartbeat directly contribute to the glowing energy field that powers the streetlights. But the true final death of the cord happened when we successfully achieved quantum resonant coupling. This marked the definitive end of the line of sight era. Power could now flow directly through solid concrete walls without any physical resistance. Every home became a power haven, a complex web of resonant coils
automatically self-assembles within the living architecture of the walls. It is a silent synchronization of human need and the invisible flow of the universal energy field. Your mere physical presence became the only trigger you would ever need. You don't flick a plastic switch. You don't plug in a lamp. You simply enter a dark room and the devices wake up, fueled by your aura. We no longer needed to carry the heavy, dead weight of massive batteries. We could finally build machines that were lighter, incredibly fast, and vastly more elegant because they didn't need to store a single drop of power. Industrial design began to rapidly evolve. Why build a delivery drone with a heavy lithium battery when it can be continuously powered by a focused laser beam from a mile away? We were becoming a species of light. The world became miraculously clean and open again. No more tangled, dusty wires on the floor. No more ugly, dangerous power lines slicing through the sky. There is only the silent, powerful hum of a global energy mesh. Energy was fundamentally transformed from a commodity into a universal service. You didn't buy a battery, you simply subscribed to infinite power. Access was no longer a matter of finding plugs, but a natural result of your location. We were becoming the ultimate masters of the electromagnetic spectrum. But remember, every master casts a long shadow. We were blindly building a world where being offline meant being physically powerless in a world made of light. Before we explore the hidden, terrifying dangers of this energetic saturation, let us see the breathtaking beauty. Let us see how a human life actually feels in a world where energy is everywhere. Welcome to 2050. Chapter 4. The World in Golden Flow. Meet the illuminated world of 2050. Imagine a city where the beautiful streetlights only glow when someone is near, drawing invisible energy from the very footsteps of the people they illuminate. Your internal BCI has flawlessly mapped your daily energy needs. As you enter your office, your coffee stays perfectly hot because the table beneath it is silently transmitting a focused resonant beam directly to the ceramic mug. You look at your sleek transport pod. It doesn't have a highly combustible gas tank or a massive heavy battery. It is powered by the road itself, drawing infinite energy from the magnetic field embedded deep in the asphalt. A soft, reassuring notification drifts into your mind as you fly. Energy flow optimal, grid connection perfectly stable. You're never, ever out of range. The entire planet is a single pulsing motherboard of infinite electrical potential. You step into a vibrant park. There are absolutely no charging stations. You watch a mesmerizing swarm of tiny robotic bees pollinating flowers. They never land to recharge. They are eternally fueled by the sunlight and the mesh. You arrive at a highly remote, beautiful mountain cabin. There are no ugly power lines connecting it to civilization. The roof is made of solar resonant glass that beams energy down from orbital arrays. You are perfectly connected. Power has become an invisible, essential part of your flow. You don't nervously look for a plug, you simply look at your task, and the world provides the invisible golden fuel as if by some ancient, benevolent magic. Lunch is a perfectly balanced synthetic meal. The BCI calculates your biological energy levels and gracefully directs ambient power to your internal nanobots to repair your muscle tissues while you eat. Total, breathtaking physical efficiency is achieved. A brilliant architect sits in a plaza designing a magnificent floating garden. There are no thick steel cables holding the platforms. They levitate smoothly using advanced magnetic resonance powered entirely by the air itself. a masterpiece of flow. You achieve absolute focus. Your personal AI handles all the complex energy handoffs in the background. It manages your power subscription securely so you can just exist, to move through the entire world without any physical friction. Sunset falls beautifully over Neo-Tokyo. The city begins to naturally glow with a soft, warm gold light. You walk through a busy plaza where the very air seems to gently shimmer with the invisible dance of pure energy. Life in 2050 is a state of absolute invisibility. Technology serves us silently, exactly like the air we breathe. It is the final, perfected form of fuel. The world has become a home where power is totally free. You walk through a sterile medical ward where there are absolutely no wires connected to the resting patients. Their vitals are monitored, and their life-saving implants are powered by the room itself. It is a true sanctuary of light. You attend a theater outdoors where the dramatic actors are actually holograms made of solid light. They draw their immense energy continuously from the ground they stand on. It is a shared, beautiful symphony of light and access. Movement is a graceful dance. You think of a city, and the grid prepares for your arrival. There is no range anxiety, no frustrating waiting at crowded chargers. The world is a fluid, open space of moving light. Safety is a constant, invisible blanket. Your BCI detects a massive solar energy surge before it reaches your home. The presence field effortlessly diverts the excess power, protecting your sensitive neural lace from the invisible violent storm. We have elegantly solved the ancient problem of the plug. We have completely eliminated the weight. We have created a beautiful world of pure, uninterrupted flow. But what have we unknowingly lost in this glowing wireless paradise? We have lost the profound quiet of being offline. We have lost the intentional ritual of the physical connection. We have become the dependent residents of a world that is always on, always intensely pulsing with electricity. The city is a masterpiece of thermodynamic efficiency. Every single electron, every photon is moving in a perfectly calculated path to ensure that no energy is ever wasted or misused by any member of our highly advanced species. But as the golden sun sets, a terrifying question remains hanging in the air. Who truly owns the grid? Who is in absolute control of the air that now carries our blood vessels? Who can turn off the light?
Chapter 5: The Electromagnetic Shadow. But beneath this shimmering perfection lies a terrifying systemic risk: energy hijacking. If the air is full of power, it can also be maliciously stolen from your body. Imagine standing in a crowded, brightly lit plaza and suddenly feeling your internal neural link drain rapidly. Someone is energy siphoning your biological field. To the world of AI, you are slowly and painfully fading out of existence. Neural hacking in the energy sector is the absolute nightmare of 2050. A hacker doesn't need to cut a physical wire. They simply create an energy void around you. They make the vibrant world go completely dark just for you. You desperately try to move, but your exosuit is dead weight. You try to speak, but your neural translator has no power to process thought. You are a digital ghost, entirely paralyzed in a world of blinding light. Meet the drained, those unfortunate souls whose energy signatures have been corrupted or stolen. They stand in the middle of glowing, warm cities, feeling completely powerless and cold, trapped by a code that has rejected their pulse. They are the power poor. In this era, Bandwidth defines your physical access. The divide between those with premium power and those surviving on limited flow is the new brutal class war of the mid-21st century. Privacy died with the last shielded analog room. Now giant corporations know exactly how much energy you use, where you use it, and what you feel. They own the invisible architecture of your very biological lifeblood. Energy advertising is incredibly relentless. A shop effortlessly powers your device as you pass by, but only if you agree to watch a 5-second intrusive neural ad. Your primal need for power is a beacon for hungry algorithms. Our biological survival skills are atrophying at an alarming rate. We do not know how to survive without the continuous feed of the mesh anymore. We have traded our physical self-sufficiency for the extreme convenience of a world that feeds us. The intense fear of being drained is the new global terror. To be off-grid is to be functionally dead to the city. To be a person without a verified power gate is a waking, inescapable nightmare. We are the very first generation to live our entire lives inside a microwave. Every pulse, every step, every fleeting thought is a traceable ripple in an energy field that never sleeps and never, ever forgets your usage. The paradise is glowing beautifully, but its artificial sun can be turned off with a single keystroke. We are the proud architects, but we are also the terrified subjects of our own invisible system of total control. We must urgently find a way to stay biological, to keep a small part of our internal energy unreachable by the cloud, to protect the mystery of a human body that can actually survive in the dark. The physical wire is gone, but the digital leash is still firmly attached. It's just invisible now. We are blindly walking through a glowing paradise with 1,000,000 invisible siphons attached to our every single heartbeat. Chapter 6: The Wireless Soul. Looking back at 25 years of intense evolution, from the tangled, frustrating copper mess to total, effortless biological flow, the wire simply had to die for us to learn how to fly. What did we carelessly leave behind in the old wall outlet? We lost the safety of the disconnected shield, but we found the infinite, terrifying scale of our collective power. We completely traded the solid for the light. The real future isn't about building better orbital beings. It's about fiercely keeping our humanity alive when the energy is entirely free. It is about the human soul finding a safe, quiet home in the buzzing void. Beyond 2050 is the complex story of us. Will you happily be a compliant node in the grid, or a beautifully flawed human being? The void in your pocket is now a brilliant sun in your heart. If this journey into the invisible forces of tomorrow inspired you, please subscribe to stay with us. Your support allows us to keep exploring these vast, uncharted horizons. Let's shape the future of our world together. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you fully trust an invisible AI-controlled power grid with your life? I am beyond 2050. Never stop questioning. I will see you on the other side of time. Remember, the future is not something that passively happens to us. It is a masterpiece we actively create with every single electron we harness and every thought we dare to think. Good night from the year 2050.